I'm Sam Otten, and with me is Jason Book, writer and artist on the Me and Him webcomic, which is at meandhimcomic.tumblr.com. Jason, thanks for being here.
Hey, anytime, Sam.
In this video, we're going to be talking about Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, as we do pretty often. But here, what we're going to take on now is the issue of screen time and the proportion of attention that's going to be given to Batman and Superman. And this is inspired by a rumor from Heroic Hollywood, and they reported this as a rumor that the Warner Brother executives, since they have so much time to kind of, be fine-tuning this movie before March, they've talked about maybe enhancing Batman's role in the movie or maybe adding some screen time for Batman. This was the rumors reported by Heroic Hollywood, and then it's been picked up on a lot of sites, and it's been discussed a lot over the last few days. And I think it's kind of third in this chain of reports slash rumors. So it started with the executive screening of Batman v Superman, and there was this reported standing ovation, and they loved the movie, and they said, "Wow, this is really high quality the way that it's come together." Then from that came the rumors and the reports of a possible new Batman trilogy, Ben Affleck possibly directing the Batman in partnership with Jeff Johns. And now I think, and that's because Warner Brothers, really wants to bring Batman into the DC universe in a big way as kind of a centerpiece of the DC universe. And now this third rumor, this one is I think more of a rumor than a report, is that they even want to enhance Batman's role in Batman v Superman, not just in the universe. So, Jason, what are your first reactions to this rumor, or what are your thoughts about, the plausibility of whether this maybe is happening with Batman in the post-production here in the next few months?
Well, I think at this stage in the game, with the movie coming out February, is that it?
March. It'll be March.
March. This is too late to go messing around with stuff like that. Whatever the story was that was pitched and obviously did well enough for them to give it a standing ovation, let it be how it is. You've already set up this universe as the first superhero was Superman, right? Maybe Batman was around before or whatever, but Man of Steel was our first entry into this new DC universe cinematically. So, we've already had, to me, as I've said numerous times so far, the definitive take on Batman. Don't let Batman overshadow this. Maybe if it was called Superman versus Batman, they wouldn't be trying to do it, but to me, stories first, and if it's kind of Superman's here and here's Batman's reaction to Superman being here, that adds to story and that makes sense why we'll have Batman in the movie, but he doesn't need to overshadow Superman being in the movie, and Superman doesn't need to overshadow Batman. It should be a really good story just showing how these characters are butting heads, and obviously by the end of the movie are probably joining forces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I think, there's been a lot of praise from a lot of different people about Chris Terrio's script, which I think is a really good sign, because with the comic book movie, there's a lot of stuff you could praise. You could praise the characters, you could praise the action, you could praise the special effects team and all the stuff, the music. But there's been so much praise about the script that I would just hope that the executives are not going to mess with that. And yeah, you're going to be tweaking, like maybe timing, maybe a little bit of pacing, but you don't want to put any new elements in that are going to totally interrupt the story or try to cram in another angle to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Zack Snyder has said that, maybe Batman gets a little bit more attention at the beginning, but then it's even throughout, like Act 2 and Act 3 of the movie. And to me, that makes sense because we already had a movie introducing us to Superman. We know where he's coming from. And Batman's new in this universe, so we need a little bit of time to get to know this Batman and to separate him from the Nolan Batman in, the general audience's mind.
Yeah.
So I think that makes some sense that there might be a focus on him at the beginning of the movie. Just a slight tilt in favor of Batman. But then even throughout the rest of the way, I think that makes sense, and I hope the Warner Brothers executives don't really mess with that. And I don't think they actually are. I think, Heroic Hollywood is Humberto Gonzalez, who I see on Collider Movie Talk and stuff, and Collider Heroes. And I appreciate his opinions on things, and he's a fan of Man of Steel, so I appreciate him for that.
Nice.
But his track record on these rumors is definitely hit or miss. He's had some that he's had correct calls on, but he's had also a lot of misses, things that did not turn out how he had predicted. So I would say this is probably a little bit of an overreaction to just Warner Brothers feeling positive about Batman. I don't think it means that they're totally breaking apart and remolding Batman v Superman or anything like that.
Yeah, that's good because, like I said before, you don't want to be messing with it too much at this stage in the game, especially if the executives already liked it too. I mean, hopefully they showed it to some people that aren't just suits too, because it's a bit of focus group stuff is always good. But there's already so much going on with this movie and things they could add and take away. Just don't mess with it too much and let it be what it is and let the chips fall where they may, right?
Yeah, and I think actually, so I'm a Superman fan first. I actually am a big Batman fan, but I'm probably even more of a Superman fan.
Yep.
But I'm not really threatened by Batman's presence in the movie because, as we can tell from the trailers and as we've talked about in our previous videos, a lot of Batman's screen time is him dealing with Superman and him thinking about what it means for Superman to be here and whether he can control Superman or if somebody can keep Superman in check. So I think a lot of the screen time that Batman has is going to be debating with Alfred about Superman, or him thinking about Superman, or Superman and the kind of tragedy with the Black Zero event in Metropolis being like, we'll get to see that that's another in a series of traumas and devastation that Bruce Wayne has experienced, but he'll be fixated on Superman. So you're not really getting Batman in a pure Batman form. Superman will have a presence even in Batman's scenes, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure what's going to happen, how we're going to get there, and I'm glad I haven't seen anything to spoil it if a script gets leaked or something, but the thing I'm dying to see is that we get the Batman kind of playing the detective and figuring out who Superman is, and that's how he tracks him down. I would love to see that in the movie.
Yeah, I'm hoping for actually a couple different detective angles. I think I would really like to see him doing detective work to figure out Clark Kent and Superman. I also think that he'll be doing some detective work on Lex Luthor, because I think they're going to be kind of like rivals in the public sphere, like Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne. But I think maybe Batman is also going to be detective, investigating Lex Luthor and trying to figure out what Lex Luthor is up to. So I think that could be some really good scenes as well. Meanwhile, I think Superman is going to have his own arc going on. So I don't think it's going to be a competition between the two of those in terms of screen time and who is really the focus of the movie. I get this feeling that the way they've laid it out and the way that the script has been praised, I think that that's because this is really a great way to balance Batman and Superman and give them both a good reason to be moving through the movie.
Yeah, and I totally want them to do their own thing, and it sounds like they are with Batman. But one thing I think they could really take from those Nolan films is that if you're going to have Bruce Wayne doing these detective things, there's no reason you can't have him doing a lot of his legwork as Bruce Wayne during the day, because that stuff works really well, and Ben Affleck could pull it off really well and kind of put his own spin on it. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I think that could go either way. Yeah, he might actually be doing the detective work in both and then having to piece it all together. That could be good.
Yeah.
So they also now, to Warner Brothers and kind of the master plan, I think that Batman as a centerpiece of the greater universe does make sense, and they have him already coming into Suicide Squad later in 2016.
That's true.
So I feel like, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to see Batman, and it's not very often or ever that you get two Batman movies in the same year. And I mean, basically we're going to have that one where he's a very central character and another one where he's definitely part of the movie, if not a central character. So that's two movies in 2016. So
totally.
I think Batman fans will have a lot to be happy about, but I think that Superman fans have nothing to worry about. I think that they can be secure in Batman v Superman being really a movie that's dealing with Superman as a character. I think he's going to be the actual centerpiece.
Well, sure, because they're dealing with the repercussions of what happened in Man of Steel. And like we've said before, once I saw that last trailer, I'm pretty satisfied with a lot of things in it. My big thing still is how Wonder Woman mixes in. I really want to see what happens with that and how they make it part of the story. That she doesn't just see these guys fighting on the news and she's like, wait, I better go there too. Like that would be really ridiculous. So obviously we're going to get something maybe politically or something. I don't know if you have any more thoughts on that, but that's the one puzzle piece I really want to see fit in,
Yeah, and in one of our earlier videos, we wanted to see Wonder Woman, and then we wondered how she's going to fit in the story.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple shots of her now, and I think from what I've seen, I think she looks pretty good, but we still, I don't have any information about how she actually comes into the mix. I mean, we see her at what looks like a high society kind of event with Bruce Wayne, and the Entertainment Weekly article kind of revealed a little bit about that. So as Diana Prince, maybe she's an ambassador, maybe she somehow runs with these high circles.
Yeah.
But so I think that could maybe be a good way where she's maybe trying to keep an eye on Lex Luthor, or maybe she's keeping an eye on Lex and Bruce.
Yeah.
So I think there's ways that she can come in, and hopefully they do it in a clever way, or a way that makes sense in the universe, and not just like in an overly convenient way that, oh, now she walks in and is
Pretty
here.
much, yeah. Because I don't know if you heard, but they talked about the Wonder Woman standalone movie, and they're potentially casting some of the bad guys, and it'll be like Circe, and I can't remember the bad guy, but it's going to be set in World War One, part of it apparently.
Okay, so they are going back.
Yeah, so
I'd
she's
heard
going to be
rumors about
godlike
that,
then,
that it was
right?
going to be actually like decades ago.
Yeah.
I think that could be cool. Like going back there gives you a little bit of freedom in terms of continuity. You can kind of be the only one. You can be the only movie in the universe that's playing with that time period. So that gives you some freedom.
Yeah,
And it could
which
give
is
it a
cool.
cool visual style that's different from a lot of the other comic book movies coming around now.
Yeah, and with the rumored the villainess for Circe is Eva Green. I think she's always awesome. So
Yeah, I think that could be cool to have a female villain, female lead. And Deborah Snyder was saying that they definitely wanted a female director, which they have in Patty Jenkins. And Deborah Snyder even said that they were trying to hire as many female crew members and assistants and everything, too. So I think just to get a lot of female perspective on this movie, I think will be great. And I think I'm very excited for it. They're going to be starting up production in the fall, so that's going to be coming around.
I know we got sidetracked there, but I just remembered I read that the other day, and I thought, well, we better talk about that too a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's all connected, and that's part of why I'm pretty excited for the new universe, is just to see how all this is going to build and fit together. But as they are fitting it together, I think Batman's going to be a big piece of it. But I'm not really worried about his role in Batman v Superman. I think it's probably about appropriate, and hopefully they don't mess with it too much. Hopefully this extra time that they have till March, they just use on the special effects and maybe just the editing and a little bit of the pacing. Because I am hoping that they keep this under 2.5 hours.
Oh, I hope so too. Anything over two, actually, to me, except a few minutes and change, would be too much, because there's so much going on. So what do you think? We're going to get maybe a trailer, I guess, around the time of Star Wars or something? Or
Yeah, I'm wondering how much they're going to try to do when Star Wars is kind of ruling the world, because we're going to get kind of swept up in Star Wars for probably 2 months solid.
Yeah, but they know, it's funny, I know trailers usually attach themselves to similar companies, but you don't necessarily see a Warner Brothers trailer before a Disney or whatever, but I mean, they'd be stupid not to, because the people that want to see Star Wars want to see Batman versus Superman too. Like, they don't just only like one thing usually. Most people like us, you may not be a huge Marvel guy, but you're excited when a certain trailer comes out still to check it out if it looks good.
And I'm a big Star Wars fan, so yeah. I think there probably will be something coming before the end of 2015. And I don't think they have a lot left to do for Act 1 and even Act 2. So maybe they would have another trailer and they say, okay, now we're going to give some actual teases of Act 3, where we actually see what this threat is. Is it Doomsday? Is it something else? What's Lex Luthor's actual plan?
I would love that, because honestly, the Batman, Superman stuff, I'm sold on from that last trailer. It looks really interesting.
You don't need to do anything else. That trailer
so
is so
give
good,
us some more layers, right? Like we've
maybe
said before.
Wonder Woman trailer too.
Yeah, and even if it's like a quick glimpse of Aquaman or Cyborg or something, I still need a reason for these guys to be there,
I'm guessing a small part for both of those, but I don't know. So that could be, they could fill in a little bit with Wonder Woman, they could fill in a little bit with the threat or Lex's plan, and maybe a shot of Aquaman or something. That could be cool.
Yeah, I know it's just a little extra bit of news stuff lately, but anytime I get some new stuff about this, it gets me excited, so.
Oh yeah, I'm just perpetually excited, so I can't wait.
Yeah.
6 more months now, or a little bit less or so that'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. I'm looking forward to it.